What's up, you beautiful bastards? Tonight, what? Can't say copyright? Phil? Peter? Who? Whatever. Fine. What's up, you guys? Justin is here. Tonight we are talking about two pocket-sized content creating machines. The Panasonic LX-100, Panasonic LX-10. Both of these I love being able to have in my bag. They are fantastic. They're amazing. So let's get into it and roll the intro. No intro. No intro. It's fine. Anyway, we're going to try and do this fairly quickly. This is not going to be the most technical, specky kind of review. I just want to talk practically on the differences between these two cameras, what makes both of them amazing at what they do, and why you might want to pick maybe one over the other if you're comparing these two different cameras. The big thing you need to know is like cell phones, like an iPhone 10. Both of these cameras use a teeny tiny 1/2 inch sensor. It's really, really small. This Panasonic LX-10 uses a 1-inch sensor, and you basically could put, I think, a little bit more than 4 of these on this sensor. It's way bigger, like 4, maybe 5 times the surface area of this. What that means is that it can capture more light when it gets dark, and it can blur that background more, which is awesome. Moving on to the LX100, it's got an even bigger sensor. It goes up to a 4/3 inch sensor, which is twice the surface area of this. Again, more blurred background, more light, even though it maybe doesn't utilize it all. That doesn't matter. Well, we'll get into that. The other big thing about these two cameras is they have these kind of wild lenses on them. This is a f1.4 to 2.8, 24 to 72 millimeter. Basically, it goes from really wide and zooms in a good chunk while still keeping a really low aperture, which means it's nice and wide open so you can blur that background, works really well at low light. This one is f1.7 to 2.8, and again, similar, I think this is 24 to 75 millimeter aperture. Now, focal length, whatever. Anyway, what you need to know is they don't do crazy zooms like a lot of other compact cameras, but they've got these big sensors with wide open apertures, which means you can take some amazing photos like this. Now, we could compare and nitpick between the quality differences between these two. In everyday practical use, they're very, very similar. Slightly smaller sensor, but it's got a slightly more wide open aperture at the wide end, slightly bigger sensor, a little bit older and not quite as wide open aperture. In the end, I think it ends up being pretty much a wash. This one takes slightly larger photos because 20 megapixels on a smaller sensor. Again, I don't want to get into all the technical things. This has a few less megapixels. What you need to know is they both are capable of fantastic photos. I'll roll some of them where you're able to actually separate what you're taking a picture of from the background, which again, on phones is really only possible with these new portrait modes, and they aren't perfect. They don't blur the foreground very well. Around the edges of things, they struggle. But you can see with these, they do a really nice job of creating real depth in the photos. So both of these can take fantastic photos. They both shoot 4K videos, 1080p videos. It's similar. Maybe something to note with this one on video, the LX-10, is that when you're shooting video, it has to crop in a little bit more, and 4K it has to crop in even a little bit more. This one on 1080p can kind of shoot that full 24 millimeter width, but on 4K it crops in a little bit more. Just something to be aware of. The big differences between these two is this LX100 gives you, I'd say, a lot more control. They both have aperture ring dials on the front, but this one gives you shutter speed, it gives you exposure compensation, it gives you a chunk more buttons on the back to be able to do that. It also has a proper hot shoe, so if you wanted to, it might look a little ridiculous, but you can put a flash on it. And again, it has a proper, one of these electronic viewfinders, so you can actually look through something and take photos, which for a lot of photographers is really, really important. So I would say, especially on the photo side, this gives you a lot more control if you're more serious about photos. Whereas the LX-10, it's a little bit more compact, a little bit more lighter. It has a flip-up touch screen, so you can actually touch the screen. This one, you can't touch the screen, and gives you, you're basically working on the screen. This one lets you do a lot more without having to, I mean, you can't touch the screen, but you're really able to use your fingers to adjust things. This one, you're going to be tapping the screen more to adjust those parameters. But again, you get that selfie screen if you want to take mad selfies or if you want to do a little bit of vlogging. And that's really kind of the main differences between these two. A little bit bigger, more control, touchscreen, a little bit more compact, selfie screen. For most people, the minor technical differences would be so much more overcome by your own skills that I would say just go that way. Do you need more control? You're a lot more serious about like all the controls of photography, or do you appreciate having a selfie screen, a little less control, but a touchscreen that you're able to work with, and it fitting in your pocket a little bit better? That's honestly like maybe the price. Sometimes these go on sale at different times, and I know in Canada right now this is like $750 Canadian, which is a steal for how much you can do with it. But otherwise, I would say they're both amazing tools in your pocket. Now, things that they compare to: Sony RX-100 Mark V, rumors there's a new Mark VI coming soon. That camera is awesome, better at video, I would say. It can shoot, I think, 4K like full width, better for vlogging, but more money for sure. Canon G7X, another popular choice. Again, both the Sony and the Canon have the sensor size similar to this. One has a little bit bigger. The Canon doesn't shoot 4K. Maybe you don't need that, but I can't remember. I don't think it has the viewfinder. I think the G9X or the G5X, I think it is, gives you a viewfinder, whereas this one has it. They're fine. Like, honestly, you're going to be sitting here debating for so long. Just buy one of these. Just buy one, start making some content, and I promise in no time you're going to have some wild-looking photos and even videos, too. I'll shoot little videos here and there. I'll roll this ridiculous. This is slow motion. This can shoot 120 frames per second, the LX-10. The quality's like, it's okay. But, you know, it was a fun little video about something fun for golfing. Whereas this one, I think, only shoots 60 frames per second at 1080p. But they're still fine. You can make fun content. No extra mic inputs or any other options for audio, so you got to record that externally. But yeah, LX-10, LX-100, both options, awesome options. So check it out if you have any questions. You know what to do. Drop it in the comments below. I'm Justin Rivas. Thanks for watching. Nobody sue me.